Today's topic, I'm going to cover travel. Hi, my name is Chantel. Thanks for joining me today. I lost my hearing in my 30s, so I decided to do a YouTube channel to share what's happened to me and what I've learned along the way. I love to travel. I try to go as often as I can afford, which never seems like enough. Going through security at the airport, do I need to take out my hearing aids? Is it going to set off the alarm? And those kinds of questions. And those of us that have had our hearing aids for a while know the answer, and it's no. You don't need to take off your hearing aids or put them through the conveyor belt. They will not set off any alarms when you're going through security. So you can keep them in and be comfortable on your way in and hear everything that you need to. The next thing I want to talk to you about is knowing your environment. Are you traveling somewhere that's extremely dry? Are you traveling somewhere extremely humid? Are you going to be traveling overnight? All of these things matter because you will need to be prepared for those trips. A humid environment can cause you to get more ear infections if you have an in-the-ear hearing aid. I used to have an in-the-ear hearing aid and often got ear infections when I traveled, especially to the Caribbean or South Asia, where it was very humid. And I found it very helpful to kind of understand that I needed to air out my ears. I needed to be sure my ears were dry before putting the hearing aid in. So in the morning after a shower, I made sure my ears were dry, meaning I often use a cotton swab or a blow dryer to keep my ears dry. Humid environments really can play a role in how your hearing aid performs. So just be prepared to know what kind of environment you're going to. Most of my trips, I have no problems, none at all. My last trip to somewhere Caribbean was the Virgin Islands, the US Virgin Islands, and it was extremely humid and I had no problems. But it is good to know because if you haven't ran into that situation yet, you'll want to be prepared. The next thing you'll want to think about is, are my hearing aids chargeable or are they battery? I think my first 2 or 3 hearing aids that I went through were all battery run hearing aids. So when I would travel, I would make sure to bring plenty of extras just in case. You never know if something's gonna go wrong and your hearing aids start pushing through, or maybe you get a bad batch of batteries or you've had them for a long time, they don't last as long. So I always made sure I knew if I could get batteries. If I was traveling to a foreign country, I would look up and see if there were any of my hearing aids sold in those countries already, so I could know that I could go to a market and find those. I'd also store them in different places. So I'd have some in my purse, I'd have some in my travel bag, I'd have some in my suitcase. And the reason for that is if you lost your purse, you weren't completely without your hearing aids. If you lost your travel bag, you weren't completely without your batteries. It's important to think strategically in worst case scenarios what you'll be up against. If you have chargeable hearing aids like I have now, I'm wearing my hair up today because I had a few people requesting that I wear my hair up so they can see how my hearing aids are in my ear. So I have behind the ear hearing aids that are chargeable. And currently, I don't have an extra battery pack for my charging system, but that is something that you can purchase when you purchase your hearing aids. So of course, I got these ones at Costco, and one thing I'm considering is going back and getting the extra little battery pack that goes along with it. That's also helpful if you live in an environment where you might lose power from time to time, or you go camping. Camping in the backwoods, obviously you're not going to have many opportunities to charge your hearing aids, or other than if you're in your car quite a bit, but if you're backpacking in, you won't. You could go camping and use a Goal Zero, and I recently purchased one of those this last summer and I love it. I got the solar powered one, so if I get to a campsite, I just take out my hearing aids and I will charge them into the power pack of the Goal Zero. Another thing to think about, going back to the conversation about location of your travel adventure, is if it is going to somewhere humid, you can buy dehumidifiers. I don't have one yet, but I'm thinking about getting one based on my frequent trips. There are bonuses to having hearing devices. So for instance, this last week I went and traveled to Louisville, Kentucky, and on the way there and on the way back, my flights were completely full. I had a very early morning flight on the way there and a very late flight on the way back. And it was nice because when I got on the plane on the early morning flight, I took my hearing aids out. It was nice and quiet. I can even put earplugs in. It's even better. It's like noise canceling. You don't hear as much of those screaming babies. I usually wait until we are at cruising altitude to do that, so I understand if there's any instructions I need to think about. On my way back, I downloaded onto my iPad some Netflix. And because my hearing aids are Bluetooth and streaming, I was able to stream and watch movies on my iPad without even having any cords or any type of, hookup that I needed to deal with. So don't let your hearing aids inhibit you from traveling. Just be prepared for the worst case scenario and expect to have a wonderful time wherever you may go. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and thank you to all of those who have subscribed. Please share this with any friends of yours that may be going through a hearing challenge or have already lost their hearing or are navigating getting new hearing aids. And I much appreciate your support for my channel.